that's all I'm showing today. I hope you learned a thing or two. I know I got to show a lot. We went through the tilt series. So that's 3 or 4 moves there. We did the standing tilt. We did the snowplow breakdown. We did the tight waist tilts. Went on our feet. We did a lot of things today. So I hope you learned a thing or two, and you can take something from this and really start getting reps with it, and getting good at it on your own, and have success with it. But just want to say thanks for having me. I really appreciate it. I can remember when I was in your guys' shoes going to camps, back where I'm from, like 2 hours from here, going to Young Guns and places like that, learning from some of the best that were wrestling back when I was your age. And I really think a lot of you guys have the potential to be really good, and be as good as you want to be in this sport if you just work hard. I remember it's your guys' age, and I just wanted to do what the clinicians were doing and have success, and just work really hard and make sure I kept up on my grades and everything like that. But one thing I do want to say is make sure you guys are doing things right outside the wrestling room. As far as your grades, listening to your parents, doing your push-ups, diet, all things like that. All the small things make a huge difference. And again, you want to make sure you have your grades up too, so you're not going to college or anywhere you want to go unless you have those. So make sure you're doing those type of things. Listen to your parents is big, and make sure you're doing things outside the room too on your own, because that's what's going to set you apart in the long run. But that's all I got for you. If you guys have any questions at all about training, wrestling, diet, I don't know, anything, just let me know. But anyway, you got any questions? Anything? Yeah.
Did you go here when you were a child?
I live pretty far from here. I know if OMP was closer, definitely come up a lot. I got a lot of good partners here around my weight and size, but I just live so far, I never really got to come up that much. I go to Young Guns back home because it's close to me. It's like 20 minutes instead of like 2.5 hours. So that's where I go, and obviously the compound, but yeah.
Whenever you were talking about earlier, when we were doing that one move, who won the match?
Talking about the standing tilt?
No.
I pinned it.
Yeah.
In the chin under. Yeah. So it's cool. I had it. I put it up on the shoulder, like I said, and it was pretty much over from there. But that's a good question.
What year was it that you went against the Russian?
Last summer. Yeah, at over in Budapest last summer. So.
You're good. I got one for you when they're at good.
What the heck's
It's a capital city, I think. But it's in a different country. It's over in Hungary. It's over the pond, so it's a different country overseas, and I went there to wrestle at Worlds last year. Yeah.
How many different states or countries has wrestling taken you? You've gone there. I know. I want guys to understand like how much traveling and what it's done for him,
Yeah.
and where he's gone for wrestling. Like, you guys may go to like Evans City for football or soccer or lacrosse or deck hockey. I want you guys to hear what wrestling has done for him and where he's traveled, what he's seen.
Yeah, well, last summer I went to Mexico for wrestling. So there's one. And then I went to Hungary. So 2 different countries for wrestling. And as far as states, I think we added it up. It was like 33 or something out of the 50. So we've been doing a lot. I did a lot of traveling, a lot of driving, a lot of flying, and it's thanks to my parents. But wrestling's taken me a lot of places. So it's a lot of traveling. It's a lot of fun. And there's like 32 or 33 states and 2 countries other than here.
Bo, you've competed at the highest level, and obviously guys on your same caliber, and your competition takes you everywhere. What's something you can tell these guys about mindset on competition day? Because a lot of guys, especially younger kids, will think about the next kid, or if they if they have a rival, they got somebody coming up that they know they've lost to before, had close matches with. What's something you can tell these guys about keeping your mind fresh for competition day?
Right, yeah, so I'm big on believing in my training. I know I work harder than every kid I wrestle. Like even today, I'm up here with you guys, but even tonight I'll get like 2 or 3 workouts in. So I just know that I set myself apart like every day from everyone. I know no one does what I do, so there's no reason I shouldn't win, and I always believe in myself. There's never like a confidence. I always have the confidence because I know I do more than everyone else, and I know that I the best coaches and the best training partners in the world. But as far as before a match, I got like 3 things I say. I'm big on, it's called the machine gun mindset. And I'm telling you, my dad came up with it one time, and he's used it a lot. And that's one thing I live by is I take more shots than you, so I should score, and I should be scoring more points than you are. The more shots you take, the better chance you have of scoring. So it's the machine gun mindset, shooting as much as you can and taking as many shots as you can. We do sprint the mile. Basically, it's sprint the whole match. You know, you see guys who are down by 1 with like 10 seconds left, and then they do their sprint. Some guys are like really good because they sprint the last 10 seconds and they can win. But for me, it's like, why don't you sprint the whole match? So that's what I try to do. I try to sprint the whole match. And basically, we call that sprint the mile. And then the last one is no one outworks me. I went through that. I know that no one outworks me at all, so I should win, and I should never lose to these guys. That's what goes through my mind, and I know that I have a lot of people that support me, and I should go out and just do my best, and it should take care of itself mostly.
And one more thing, my most recent exposure to Bo and the most recent match I watched him wrestle. So you're 8th grader, right? So he was wrestling in the redemption duel up in State College against a state champion. He was a state champion and a state place winner as a sophomore, a kid from out in the middle of the state. First period, Bo's up 11-3, and the kid ends up injury defaulting because Bo was just pressing the pace as much as he was. The machine gun mindset was really impressive, and as soon as he walks off the mat, he's sprinting the whole length of the gym. He's doing hard stance and motion. So he still had all that energy to go out and do all that and still get a workout in. And he just did that to a 2-time Pennsylvania State place winner, which is already hard enough to do. So that's that machine gun mindset, man. I love it.
Yeah, that's a good example of it. I scored a lot in that first period.
Knows how to pin too.
Yeah, and then he couldn't continue, but yeah, even after I was trying to keep my heart rate up because I know that some guys are going to go the full match and I'm going to have to be ready for that. So I tried to keep going for as long as I could. It was good though. It was good exposure, and I was glad to wrestle now against a good high school guy. But even before that, I wrestled in the tournament. Before that, I had a lot of good matches in that too, so it was fun there. Wrestled up, weights, ages, and just try to challenge myself.
And you guys understand, you know, I love hearing it because when you get around a lot of wrestlers, you know, of all levels, but you know the guys that, you know, like I know him, you know, Keegan just came off a fantastic freestyle Greco dual event. These guys have that elite mindset of it's the thoughts that go in their head, and it transpires to their work ethic on the mat. Can everybody be that? Yeah. Are you going to find all that? Is it going to be that common? No. It's because of the choices they make and the attitude they have. So in the room, if you want to be good and the decision you make, it shows in your work ethic. It shows in the fact that you never have to turn your, you know, the coach always knows you're going to be the example to go to because your work ethic's better than everybody, that you outwork everyone. We have one, and I know he only ended up 5th in the state, Liam. You guys know Liam. Liam was always that kid who you always know was going to be, never going to be a question. He was going to be talking when we drilled. He was always going to stay after practices and get extra work. He was always going to, you know, even if he got beat up by some of the upperclassmen, he was going to continue to grind. The kid ended up having a perfect SAT, perfect ACT. He's now going to wrestle. He only medaled in high school states once, and now he's going to wrestle Division I in American. But that's an example of going, that's a kid that you don't have to worry about. He'll hit his max potential or try to get there because of his work ethic. But it's that attitude and decision. That's why I love that. You can get kids on a scale to weigh in as a team, and everybody looks the same, but there's a muscle that you can't see getting on the scale, and it's their attitudes, the thoughts they have going through their head. That's why I've seen Bo go up against kids going, man, this kid's like, and all of a sudden, there goes Bo. Boom, boom. As a matter of fact, he's talking about it. That our April tournament, which wasn't that great of a turnout, he wrestled up a little bit. All of a sudden, kid had him taken down. He was down for a little bit, and everybody was like, thinking, what? Nope, he wasn't going to be denied because his attitude was going to push through and continue to get what he wanted out of the match, continue to come out on top. So I love that. That's why I look for those. When you see it in their eyes, you hear it in their words. So if anything, you guys got a great set of technique. You should watch Flow. You should watch Instagram on being able to watch those clips and highlights because these are the guys that live it and being able to see, you know, how they travel, you know, their highlights and being able to understand. Because that's, again, I go back to Liam because he was always a student of it, you know, and not to take away from a lot of the guys we had, you know, Dylan or Alejandro or, you know, a lot of the guys that have come through. Nick has always been an encyclopedia of wrestling. That's why he's going to make a great coach someday. But the fact that being able to stay on top of it and see, because the technique that he showed you today, you'll see him hitting it in highlight reels. And go, oh, he showed us that tilt. He showed us that thump. He showed us that fireman's. And you guys will see him hitting it. And some of you guys in the room have wrestled Bo, right? I was in that corner once. And he just like, it was like, let's see if we can keep it within a major first period, because he's coming, man. The question is being able to just see if you can weather the storm, because that kid's not going to slow down. He's not going to pace it. He's bringing it. So I love it. It's great having you, Bo. Coach, great having you. Keegan, Melva, great, big fan of you guys. I've gotten to appreciate the sport. I pull for the OMP guys, try to be able to raise them right, do the right thing, but I just love great wrestling. That's why I'm a big fan of guys who are good examples of it and go out and get it done on the mat. And say, I know that kid, he's tough, man. I love watching his style. So keep it
Let's
up.
give these guys a hand.
Let's do a picture. Let's get a group shot. All you guys going down. Group shot for the banner. Let's go.